Let's speak to Gary Mabbutt, former England defender. How are you, Gary?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to have you with us. I mean, how does this feel? You never stopped being a footballer, really. I mean, footballers might retire, but it's there in the blood forever. I'm sure the eyes pop out cartoon style every time you see a football, even if you've stopped playing for many years. It must be from a professional perspective, Gary. This is a very big day, right?
Yes, I think it's been very special. It's been, obviously, I think it's Gareth's third semi-final now.
Yeah.
Yeah, semi-finals are something which we've been to in the last few years. But of course, it's the getting through to the final that's the important thing. And I'm very excited that the way that we've approached this tournament, the way that the players have managed it, the way that the staff have utilised the players to get the best out of them, I think it's a very well organised. I think it's been a fantastic tournament for us so far.
Yeah.
And if we remain focused, I think we've got a great opportunity.
Yeah, some great football we've seen over the last few weeks. No concessions for England. But how do you rate their form? I mean, there's obviously been moments where, a sense that, will Southgate pull it off at the next match? There was controversy early on with Harry Kane, and of course that's now completely been addressed after what he's been doing in the last couple of matches. So we've had all of those boxes ticked. I mean, are you sensing this is England at their very best, Gary, for many years?
What I see is that I think Gareth Southgate, throughout the whole tournament, I think just like when he was a player and as a captain, he played a game with dignity and pride. I
Yeah.
think the way that he approached this tournament, I think, has been exactly the same. I think that he got questioned a lot on his team selections for the first game, and everything that he planned came out perfectly. Every game throughout the tournament, he's had an idea where he wants to play it.
Mm.
He's brought different players in to do different roles within the team. And what's been best for me is that I think every player feels part of the team, part of the squad. And that's the important thing as a
Yeah.
manager, to make sure that you keep your squad together, make sure you get the best out of them. But even if they're not in the starting 11, they still feel that they are very much part of it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Did you ever play against the Danes when you played for England?
No, I didn't. I played against a lot of the Nordic teams, Iceland, Norway,
Yeah.
Sweden. It's Denmark, no.
they eluded the mighty Mabbutt on the day, as it were. I mean, what are you making of their form? I mean, this is a team that, I don't want to sort of underplay anyone that's reached the semi-finals of a tournament this big. But, at the outset, if we'd have talked about this a couple of months ago, Gary, people might be surprised to see Denmark at this stage.
Yes, I mean it's an excellent side. I believe that of course, and I think what will happen this evening is that a lot of respect will be shown from the England team and the England supporters. Obviously, the events that took place at the start of the competition
Mm.
with Christian Eriksen. Of course, Christian got to know very very well during his time at Spurs,
Yeah.
and I believe that tonight will be showing the utmost respect, and everyone will be wishing him obviously a full recovery. And I think that Denmark, the way that they've been able to perform, considering what happened, I think has been outstanding. I know that Christian's been in touch with the squad throughout the tournament. I think that's kept buoyed their spirits.
Yeah.
But overall, considering what they've gone through, it's remarkable that they are now in the semi-finals.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that there is I mean, just to go back to England's form, Gary, I mean, there is a cohesion there. There is a sense that I was watching an interview from a couple of years ago. I think Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, and it might have been Steven Gerrard. They were just talking about how there wasn't a real gelling at their time playing for England, that there was a sense of, they still felt like enemies when they met up nationally. They couldn't really shake that kind of domestic leagueness about them. Here's Frank, here's Stevie. At the weekend, they're trying to take each other's ankles out, to coin a phrase. And on Wednesday, they're meant to play as a lovely, happy team. And they struggled to sort of surmount that divide. That seems to have been addressed now.
Yes, I think people talk too much about when England teams get together, you're all top class footballers. I don't think it's the clubs is the concern. I think no matter where you play your football, whether it be for a pub team, whether you play it for England, if you're not in that starting 11, you're upset.
Yeah.
The only 11 happy players are the ones that start the game. But what Gareth's been able to do is to keep the squad together. He's been, as I said, rotating the squad as need be, bringing in players for certain games, certain situations. Against Germany, we had 7 defensive players because trying to nullify the German threat. That worked ideally. And then second half, I mean, when you've got a team like Germany against us, and then you've got the likes of Grealish and everyone you're able to bring on off the bench, and they will create havoc in defence. That's exactly what's happened so far. And the way that it's been planned, the way that the team has played, say that focus, that determination, that tournament football that we've been playing to get through the games and to get through to this stage, I think it's been remarkable. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen an England team that quite so, certainly during my time, such camaraderie within the side.
Yeah, totally. That shows. There's sort of I think the word seems to be an intelligence behind Southgate's approach to this. He really seems to be on his game on this one. I'm bound to ask you, Gary, because I'd be failing like a fool not to. Give us a prediction then. I mean, 8 o'clock tonight, it kicks off. 90 minutes later, what's that scoreline going to look like?
I hate doing predictions, but no, I believe that I've been very confident throughout that the way that England have been playing. Certainly after watching the game last night, fantastic game of football between Italy and Spain. But I felt on the day that Spain were the better team. Yeah. Certainly in the Italian side, I saw frailties, certainly down the flanks, certainly at the back. And I believe if we can get through tonight, which I honestly believe we will, then going into the final with the players that we have, I think tonight it'll be a tough game, but we will go through it. And then a final against Italy, which again, I believe is that something that we can actually go into that game with confidence and with the players that can actually win this tournament for us.
Yeah, I think you're right, Gary. It's great to have you on, sir. Thank you for your time. Gary Mabbutt, of course, former England defender, former Spurs, and to many, an absolute footballing god, of course, with us here